It started with a tweet. Just a few lines posted on social media, an image, a caption, a comparison, but it was enough to ignite a discussion that would forever alter the course of Gina Carano's rising career. Once seen as a breakout star on The Mandalorian, she was quickly gaining ground in Hollywood. Disney had big plans. Fans admired her powerful and confident presence. But behind the scenes, her public statements were attracting controversy, and in early 2021, one post would prove pivotal. Gina Carano wasn't unfamiliar with attention. Before acting, she gained recognition as a mixed martial arts fighter, one of the first women to break through in the sport. Her presence and strength led her into films like Haywire and Fast and Furious 6. But her portrayal of Cara Dune in The Mandalorian, a Star Wars series on Disney+, made her a household name. Playing a tough ex-soldier with grit and loyalty, she won fans across the globe. There were even rumors of a future spin-off centered around her character. Gina had always spoken her mind. On social media, she addressed topics many others avoided. As national conversations intensified after the 2020 election, she shared her thoughts on policies, freedom of expression, and cultural issues. Her posts drew both support and criticism. Some saw her as bold and independent. Others believed she was being divisive or spreading misinformation. Yet, for a time, Disney did not intervene. Then came February 2021. In an Instagram story, Gina shared an image that drew a historical comparison meant to highlight what she felt was political bias in modern society. The post referenced events from the past in an effort to comment on present-day division. Many interpreted it as an insensitive analogy, especially given the historical weight of the subject matter. While some defended her intent, the message sparked widespread concern. The reaction was swift and widespread. Social platforms lit up with responses. While some supported her right to speak, many called the comparison inappropriate. Debates erupted over context and responsibility, particularly when addressing sensitive history. Lucasfilm soon released a statement. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Her role was officially over. The spin-off project was shelved. A promising chapter had abruptly ended. The event became a national conversation. Was this accountability or something else? Supporters argued that public figures shouldn't be penalized for voicing viewpoints. Others believed that public statements carry consequences, especially when they may affect others deeply. Disney, as a global brand, took action it believed appropriate. Gina responded later with resilience. In interviews, she described her experience as isolating. She said her goal had been to express concern, not to offend. She spoke about a desire to question norms and encourage open discussion. "I'm not going down without a fight," she said. She later announced a collaboration with The Daily Wire, a media company that aligned with her views, to produce and star in new film projects. Many welcomed the move. To them, it represented strength and autonomy. They saw her as someone standing firm despite setbacks. Critics, however, continued to express concern, emphasizing the influence of words and the need for responsibility in public discourse. The division was clear, reflecting deeper cultural tensions. In weeks, Gina went from a Disney favorite to a figure at the heart of a national debate. She had been introduced to millions as a heroic character in a beloved galaxy. She exited as a symbol of controversy, with supporters and critics interpreting her story through different lenses. But what does it mean to be canceled? Was Gina Carano silenced? Or was she simply moving to a different platform with a new audience? Her story was never just about a post. It involved timing, perception, and the tension between individual voice and public accountability. As the discussion continued, it became apparent Gina Carano's departure from The Mandalorian wasn't only about one decision. It had become a lens into the complexities of modern culture and the reality of being unfiltered in an age of public scrutiny. Following her departure, Gina's name became a focal point well beyond the Star Wars community. She was no longer just an actress. She had become a subject of national conversation. To some, she was a strong individual speaking up. To others, her comments were seen as inappropriate and misaligned with respectful discourse. But in the midst of it all, Gina moved forward, shaping a new identity, this time outside of mainstream entertainment. Her shift came quickly. Within weeks of being dropped by Lucasfilm, Gina announced her new film partnership with The Daily Wire, co-founded by commentator Ben Shapiro. It was a move that signaled she was not seeking reconciliation, but instead carving a new space for herself. In her statement, she said, "The Daily Wire is helping make one of my dreams come true, developing and producing my own film. I cried out, and my prayer was answered." This new phase promised freedom and creative independence. She would no longer have to filter her voice to fit within major studio expectations. But this path also came with trade-offs. Although she found new opportunities, she stepped away from one of the most powerful entertainment franchises in the world. She was no longer part of Star Wars. She was no longer featured at fan events or on promotional covers. In many ways, she had traded access for autonomy. Still, opinions remained divided. Her critics believed the initial decision was justified, citing the discomfort her post had caused. Several advocacy organizations spoke out, noting that certain comparisons must be made with extreme care and understanding. Others argued that when high-profile figures make public statements, they carry a special responsibility. Choosing silence, some said, would not have been appropriate either. But there was also another question. Why had Gina's case drawn such decisive consequences? Some noted inconsistencies in how the entertainment industry responds to public statements. While some individuals faced long-term career shifts, others returned without issue. Was this about the post itself, or did her broader views play a role? The question sparked wide debate. The discussion expanded to include how companies respond to controversy and whether different perspectives are welcomed or rejected in the industry. Gina didn't step back. In further interviews, she opened up about the emotional impact of her departure. She described the experience as painful and unexpected, saying she felt targeted for her beliefs. "They've been trying to cancel me since the beginning," she said. "I've gone through a lot, and I know others are experiencing this too." Her message focused on perseverance and self-belief. Even as she gained new supporters, she became a more polarizing figure. Some former colleagues avoided direct commentary. Others emphasized values of kindness and respect without naming her. Industry professionals described the moment as difficult but necessary. For a company like Disney, with global reach and a family-friendly brand, the decision reflected broader values. By the end of 2021, Gina had started work on Terror on the Prairie, a Western drama produced by The Daily Wire. The film was not positioned as a mainstream blockbuster. Instead, it represented a new kind of creative space. It was a statement of artistic freedom. Her core audience followed her, while critics stood firm in their views. The conversation moved forward. Her story had outgrown the original incident. It became a discussion about the boundaries of public speech, the balance between personal views and shared responsibility, and the evolving role of entertainment in cultural debates. It highlighted how complex it can be when influence meets ideology. At the center was still Gina Carano, a woman known for strength, determination, and now for standing by her perspective even in the face of consequences. Whether viewed as courageous or controversial, her story served as a reminder of the influence of words and the ever-shifting standards of public life. Over time, the debate around Gina didn't disappear. It changed. To some, she remains a voice that was silenced unfairly. To others, her experience is a reflection of the need to consider how messages affect others. And to many, she is now part of a larger conversation, one about public platforms, private beliefs, and the cultural crossroads at which we stand. One post, one reaction, one turning point.